Hello everyone and welcome to another budget arena video. My name is John, aka John Stormblessed, and today what we have is a budget Gruul deck that doesn't require you to spend any of your rare or mythic wildcards.
Yeah, boy.
Now, I didn't build this deck. This deck was built by Seth Manfield. If you don't know, Seth Manfield is a professional Magic the Gathering player. So we're going to be playing this list to see how it does. The link for his article will be down in the description below. Now, I did make a few changes to the deck just for my own fun, so I'll go ahead and point them out to you very quickly. I added a couple of Gruul's Furies and one Colony Ambush. Gruul's Fury just to push through some extra damage. Colony Ambush just to kind of help us get through a little bit. So we'll see how those perform. I also have a couple of pathways in the deck as the only rares that are in the whole deck. These are optional. You won't lose any explosiveness in the deck just by running all basics and the 4 of Evolving Wilds. Any of the rare lands, pathways, Rockfall Vale, I would add those to the deck, and also but keep the Evolving Wilds because it is important to how explosive this deck can be. So now with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and get into what the deck is trying to do. So this deck is very explosive, and the reason it's so explosive is because we're running Akum Hellhound and Brushfire Elemental. So these you drop down turn 1 or turn 2, and whenever you make a land drop, you pump them by +2/+2. So Akum Hellhound, 1 mana 0/1, you play a land, you attack with it to 2/3. Brushfire Elemental, you play it, you drop a land, and it's now a 3/3, with the bonus of not being able to be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So these creatures will give you your most explosive starts. Moving on from there, we're going to keep going with our, in our 1-drop slot, we have Fireblade Charger, 1 mana 1/1. As long as it's equipped, it has haste. We have no equipment in this deck, so we're not worrying about that. But whenever it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. That goes face. It can drop down an X1, but it's just one of the cards in the deck to encourage you to keep attacking, to not be afraid to get to not be afraid to get in. Also, we have Goblin Javelineer, a 1 mana 1/1 with haste, and whenever it becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to target creature blocking it. So just another way to help you get through. Like I said, another way to encourage you to keep on attacking, because whenever it does get blocked, it's going to ping something and you can finish it off with another spell, like Play with Fire. 2 damage to any target. If a player was dealt damage this way, you get to scry 1. We also have Lunar Frenzy in the deck as a way to push through extra damage. So it's 1 and X, target creature gets +X/+O and gains first strike and trample, very important, until the end of turn. So you use this card to just kind of push through, right? It can also double as a in combat removal spell in a sense, right? And there is also a sub thing in the deck that we're about to get into with our 2-drops here. Number 1, we're going to start off with Battlecry Goblin, 2 mana 2/2. You can pay 2 mana, and goblins you control get +1/+O and gain haste until the end of turn. Now, the goblins that we have in the deck are actually quite a few. Our 1-drops, and the Fireblade Charger and the Goblin Javelineer, are goblins themselves, and of course, the Battlecry Goblin himself. We'll talk about the other one in just a second, but I do want to go ahead and finish this. And this is where we get into that sub-theme that I was talking about that Seth put in the deck. Whenever Battlecry Goblin attacks, if you attacked with creatures total power 6 or greater, this combat you create a 1/1 goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. Okay, and the other goblin in the deck is Hobgoblin Captain, a 2 mana 3/1 with pack tactics. Whenever Hobgoblin Captain attacks, if you attack with creatures total power 6 or greater this combat, it gets first strike until the end of turn. So yes, the sub thing is that pack tactics. So what you want to be conscious of when you're playing this deck is counting up the amount of damage that you're about to be swinging with. That counts in your pumps that you get from your landfall triggers and your Hellhound and your Brushfire Elemental. Also in your pumps with Battlecry Goblin or even other cards that we're going to mention in a second. But you want to try to make sure you attack your opponent with 6 power so you can get these additional benefits. Sure, this one isn't super powerful, just getting first strike. It is nice to help him survive since he is a 3/1, but other than that, for this card it's not as important. But you know, for cards like the Battlecry Goblin, you're getting extra attackers, which is what this deck wants, right? The next card we're going to talk about is Null Hunter, A 2-mana 2/2. Pack Tactics is when you have, if you're attacking with creatures power 6 or greater, it's going to get +1/+1 counter, right? So this one just gets stronger as you're attacking, as long as you're attacking with 6 power or more. We already talked about the Brushfire Elemental, very important. And we also have Tognar Demon Fang Knoll, a 2-mana 2/2. Pack Tactics, whenever you attack with creatures total power 6 or greater this combat, attacking creatures get +1/+0 until the end of turn, which helps you push through as much damage as you can. Also, the ability of paying 4 and doubling power and toughness can also be relevant. You know, he pumps himself, he becomes a 3/2. Now he's going to be attacking for 6 just by pumping him with this ability. Also, there's no caps. For some reason, if you have 8 mana, you can double pump it, but you're more than likely not going to be getting that situation. This deck is going to be wants to really win by around turn 4, maybe turn 6, something like that. After that, you're kind of pushing it. And that moves us over to the mana base. We already talked about the Kazul's Fury and the Colony Ambush, which are part of the mana base. So yeah, you do have those utility spells baked right in. But really all the deck needs is basic mountain, basic forest. You are going to want more mountain than forest since there are a lot more red creatures in here. And then just the Evolving Wilds. You don't want to cut the Evolving Wilds because it's so important to the landfall triggers with the Hellhound and the Brushfire Elemental. But yeah, without spending any rares or mythics, you can build this deck and actually compete, actually do pretty well. But like I said in the beginning, if you do have the rare lands like the Crag Crown Pathways or the Rockfall Veil, then add those to the deck. All they're going to do is just kind of smooth out your gameplay. No rare wild cards needed, no mythic wild cards needed. But yeah, that's the deck. We're going to go ahead and get into the games now so you can see how it plays. I am going to be sticking to my deck tech format, which is just explaining the deck in the beginning and then having no audio from me, no video from me in the actual gameplay footage, and just having some music so you can kind of vibe out and just see for yourself how the deck plays and decide if you want to build it or, hey, just enjoy some music and some magic, right? But as always, if you like the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and let's go ahead and get into it. Thanks. Okay, everybody, so we're back with the final thoughts. So I got to play the deck. You saw the footage. Oh my god. The deck really is so explosive. There's a lot of power in the deck. You can really just kind of run away with some games. Also, a change I would make, I did add, like I said, the Gruul's Fury and the Colony Ambush is kind of fun, but you don't need them at all. Maybe I should have knew better than to mess with the Professionals deck. But they're not needed at all. If I were you, if you're going to build the deck, if you liked how it played, just cut the 2 Gruul's Furies, add a couple Mountain, cut the Colony Ambush, add a Forest. If you don't have the pathways, cut those, add another of each Forest and Mountain, and the deck's going to run so smooth. As I mentioned, Hellhound and Brushfire Elemental are the big stars in the deck. The double landfall triggers that you get from Evolving Wilds, or even just one land. Lunar Frenzy, we saw that being a very important piece to the deck, really pushing through that damage. There was one match where we actually were able to get through a 7/7 Werewolf Pack Leader like nothing. But yeah, the first strike and the trample, so important. Play with fire, you know, just makes a lot of sense. Just removing the early game threats so you can get your early game damage in. Very important. The Goblin Javelineer, yeah, doing that 1 damage and finishing off with Play with Fire, or pushing through with Gruul's Fury, things like that. But the Fireblade Charger, that's really nice. That dying trigger, you know, it's dealing damage equal to its power to any target, right? But if you have that Lunar Frenzy on there, he's gonna die and just hit your opponent for whatever damage that you pumped into him. But yeah, just a lot of power in the deck. Battlecry Goblin doing some great things. Hobgoblin Captain, really great in helping with that total power of 6 or greater this combat. I didn't mention this in the beginning of the video, but it's very important to explain that pack tactics doesn't want, you don't need one creature to be power 6 or greater. It's taking into account all the creatures on the battlefield. So you have 6/1/1s, you can trigger this thing. Yeah, he really helps a lot just by getting you halfway there, just with his power. The Null Hunter was pretty nice. Getting counters that actually stay on their creature, really nice. Tognar, being able to pump all your creatures for free just by attacking with the correct number of power on the battlefield. But yeah, there's not really much more to say about the deck. It performed well. It was very explosive. I can definitely see this helping some new players climb in ranked and getting the wins that you need for that sweet, sweet gold. But anyways, I think that's going to be it for this week. I got some more things in the works, so stay tuned for that. I will be doing more budget, 0 land, 0 mythic decks. I think in the future what I'll do is I'm going to make sure I don't add any rares before. I'll just play it as it is, which is how I should be doing it. And then later on in the final thoughts, I'll go ahead and talk about what rares that I would like to add into the deck. But yeah, if you made it this far, please like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe. Really helps out the channel, and it's completely free. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.